Hey, neighbor. Yeah, I know it's still weird of me to call you neighbor, especially considering we've been dating for, quite a while from your human perspective, huh? And, well, since, the reason we're staying in this hotel is because you're gonna be meeting my parents tomorrow. But I'm nervous, and I always call you neighbor when I'm nervous. And so I'm going to call you neighbor right now, okay? Okay, cool. So, I sort of screwed up a little bit. See, I really wanted to do everything perfectly and help you make a good impression, and I got so fixated on certain things that I forgot others completely. And one of the biggest things I sort of screwed up on is your ears. I know that I've been kind of stressed planning all this, and that's stressed you out, and I haven't had the time to give you a proper cleaning, and well, originally I was planning on booking us a trip to a professional for both of us. I thought it would make for kind of a cute date, getting our ears cleaned together at a professional salon. But I got so busy that it just completely slipped my mind, and I didn't even pack most of my good kit. And I don't want to show up to my parents' house tomorrow with a partner whose ears are full of negativity. They're going to think that I'm neglecting you or mistreating you or something. So, look, I know it's late and we just finished unpacking and we're both tired from the trip, but would it be okay if I gave you a quick ear cleaning while you were, lying down for bed? I still have a good amount of my equipment, just not the best stuff, not the salon quality stuff I was borrowing from a friend. I can? Okay, cool. Okay, then we're not completely screwed. That's good. Just give me just one sec. All right. So, tools-wise, I have my gloves, obviously. And I have some of the spray that helps to loosen things up a little bit. And I also brought my favorite brush, but I don't have any picks or any of that lotion that you like or anything like that. So, well, I mean, we're in private. I might, if you're okay with it, resort to some drastic measures towards the end. All right. Well, in that case, let me just start by spraying a little bit of this in there, and hopefully that'll help start the process and get things loosening up a little. I'm sorry if my nerves have been getting to you at all. I really like you. You know that, right? Like, a lot. You mean the world to me. But, you know how I was when I first met you? I'd never even seen a human before. And my parents and the rest of my family, they're the same way. They've never seen a human in person, and so it's like, I don't know how they're going to react to me bringing a human home, you know? I think they'll be cool with it. I'm hoping they will. But I don't know for sure. I can't know for sure. And so I guess I've been fixated on trying to get as much of what I can control as possible perfect. All right, I'm going to go in with the gloves, and we're just going to clear out the largest bits of negativity with my fingers, okay? I know normally I would use a tool for this, and I would really much rather be using a tool for this, but well, you know, when you don't got a choice, when the only tool you've got is a hammer, you gotta get really creative with that hammer. Is that not how the saying goes? Everything looks like a nail? No, that's stupid. I like my version better. It's gonna be fine, huh? Well, I mean, I appreciate your confidence. I'm still nervous, though. I think I'm gonna be nervous until after it's over. You want me to tell you about the family? About what it was like growing up? Okay. I mean, if that's what you want, while you're drifting off to sleep, is to hear stories about your girlfriend's past, then sure. I was, pretty average. Nothing really special. I had some friends. I did decently enough in school. Had a pretty major depressive phase at one point. Well, I say at one point, it lasted for quite a while. And that was actually, I want to say I was like 30 at the time. Super young, I know. Hey, for elves, it is. But I ended up in this sort of depressive spiral at one point and just started drowning myself in elf tube videos and a bunch of animated films that came out of the human kingdoms, and well, I mean, you know me. You know what I was like when we first met. I was a certified round ear chaser. And you just happened to move in next to me. The day I first knocked on your door to introduce myself as your neighbor, that was the first time I'd talked to any of my neighbors. Ever. I'd never said a word to any of them before that. I hardly said a word to anyone outside of my family. But when I saw you moving in, well, that part of me that was so fixated on human ears, it got brave. And so I went and I talked to you. And really all I wanted at the time was just to get to touch your ears, clean them, and all of that. The next few times as well, it was the same. And that's entirely my fault. I am the one who became a shut-in, obsessed with humans. My parents and my family, they really tried to get me to break out of my shell a little bit more. None of them really had any success. You've had more success than any of them. You don't even have to try either. And by spending more time with you, well, I started viewing you as more than just a pair of ears. Now here we are. You somehow put up with me long enough for that to happen. Which, by the way, I really appreciate, so. Alright. I think I've done all I can with the brush and the gloves. I think there's only really one thing left to do if you're down for it. Just kind of, lick your ears a little bit. Clean off the last of the residue. And the last of that negativity, So, you don't know if you'll be able to sleep while I do this. Well, I mean, I don't have to if you don't want me to, but yeah, I figured you would. As much as I think you've made me better, sometimes I think maybe I made you worse. I mean, you've got, sort of a weird thing about elven ear cleaning practices at this point. And before you met me, you'd never even heard of the concept. Not that I'm complaining, or that I have any right to judge. Although, maybe don't talk about it in front of my parents. It would be bad if they knew that I was a human chaser, But it'd be worse if they somehow thought that you were an elf chaser. I'd really hate for that to happen, I guess it is fascinating to someone who wasn't raised in this culture, but if I didn't know where you were coming from with my perspective on human cultures, wow. Anyways, I think you're starting to look pretty nice and squeaky clean. Just gonna do some last finishing touches. And then Voila, your ears don't look like I neglect you anymore. I really am so sorry for being so nervous about this. Thank you for understanding. I'm sure my parents will be cool with everything either way. I bet you they'll just be happy that I'm talking to people now. I love you, neighbor. Thanks again for putting up with the person I was in the past and for still putting up with the messes and mistakes that I make today. I really, really do love you.